2, 1, go!
Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it is KingNido here, and today we are in Pony Canyon where the ground type Fissure have a chance to be on top of the leaderboard if they win this game over the Sirchester Frost, who have the type advantage over them. It is Swampert and Seismitoad starting out for the Pony Canyon Fissure. It is Vanilluxe with that Snow Warning ability setting up the Hail, and Avalugg starting out for the Sirchester Frost, and Vanilluxe immediately goes for the Fire Spin, which isn't very effective but will trap Swampert in that fiery vortex. But the mystical fire from Seismitoad, super effective hit onto Vanilluxe there. It's also going to lower its special attack, and it does have that special attack of 110, but it is an anchor shot being followed up by Swampert onto Avalugg. Another super effective hit by the ground types. That spark will not affect the ground type team from Avalugg there, as the hail does hit the two ground types who are also both water type, which is fantastic play there. It will nullify that super effective hit from ice attacks because they will resist ice type moves, as the feather dance now is performed by Vanilluxe onto Swampert. This is going to lower Swampert's attack a great deal, but Seismitoad is going to go for the power swap. Now all the Pony Canyon Fissure have to do is win this game with 5 Pokemon remaining to be on top of the leaderboard after this match, as the Psychic Fangs from Swampert onto Vanilluxe does a little bit of chip damage as Seismitoad avoids the Steel Wing from Avalugg. So it is a big task for the Pony Canyon Fissure, but we will find out if they can do it. Avalugg with that Ice Body is going to restore a bit of health thanks to that ability. Now Sirchester Frost have not been having a great season so far. They're still in contention to make the championship trials, however, as a rising voltage won't affect Seismitoad from Vanilluxe, and Seismitoad responding with the ancient power onto Vanilluxe and gets the elimination with that super effective move. And is one Pokemon down from the Sirchester Frost, and Swampert follows it up with the Play Rough. This is going to do such minimal damage to Avalugg here, who goes for the Zap Cannon. They keep trying to go for these electric type attacks. They must be confused by the water typing because it will not affect them thanks to that ground typing. And there's Avalugg still restoring health with that Ice Body. Out comes Cloyster to join the Ice type side. Seismitoad with the round now is going to do good damage to Avalugg there, who has been a tank. And Water Shuriken from Cloyster is actually going to restore Seismitoad's health because it has that Water Absorb hidden ability being on the home side. Swampert follows it up with an Aqua Ring, looking to restore its own health in between turns, and Avalugg now going for the Hone Claws. This is going to boost its attack and its accuracy as Seismitoad and Swampert continue to take damage from this hail. But remember, Swampert will be restoring health in between turns. Similar to Avalugg, whilst that hail is still active, Avalugg will be restoring health. And now Seismitoad going for the Stone Edge onto Cloyster. A fantastic hit there, super effective on the Ice Water type and Cloyster with the skill swap. It's going to take that Damp ability from Swampert and give it the Shell Armor. These two Pokemon switching. I don't see anyone doing Explosion whilst that Damp ability is on the field, but Swampert is going to set up for the Solar Beam, see if it can connect with this on the next turn. But Avalugg first is going to go for the Aurora Beam onto Seismitoad. Gets in a good hit there as the hail finally stops over this battlefield, which means Avalugg will not be restoring any health in between turns in the meantime, as somebody can reset up a hail. But Seismitoad going for the Heal Pulse. This is a very foolish move. It's going to restore the health of Cloyster, almost gets it back to full strength as well. And now Cloyster's going to respond with the Metal Claw, doing damage to Swampert there. Unfortunately not very effective, but this will boost Cloyster's attack. Now Swampert is going to go for that Solar Beam, and it's going to be super effective on Cloyster and gets the elimination with that move. That Heal Pulse having no effect on Cloyster, staying in this matchup. Avalugg now with the Land's Wrath hits both ground water types, gets in a good hit there, but Swampert is able to hold on. Thankfully, it has been restoring its health with that Veil of Water, as we have done Darmanitan in its Galarian form, trying for the Snipe Shot, but that Water Absorb again coming into play for Seismitoad. It does get its health restored. And Seismitoad, as a thank you, goes for the Astonish onto Darmanitan. Then it's followed up by the Sweet Kiss, which Darmanitan's able to avoid. And Avalugg is going for the Splash. Nothing is going to happen. This is not the start of the Sirchester Frost thing, but this is everything that the Pony Canyon Fissure want, as Darmanitan now going with the Guard Split. As I said though, the Pony Canyon Fissure, they need 5 Pokemon remaining to be on top of the leaderboard, as the Lava Plume from Seismitoad hits everyone on the field. Thankfully, it's not very effective on Swampert, but it leaves it with the burn And it is going to be super effective on the ice types, and Avalugg is taken out of this matchup. Swampert intelligently follows it up with a Moonlight, so it's going to get a really good health restoration here. So it will be able to take damage from the burn. Remember, it's also got that Veil of Water that is going to continue to restore its health, which will negate the effects of the burn that it is suffering from. And we now have Lapras coming out for the Search Chest of Frost's Darmanitan with the Sludge onto Swampert. You know it's not going to poison it. It's already got that burn status condition. But Seismitoad now going for the Prismatic Laser onto Darmanitan. And another elimination by the Pony Canyon Fissure. Darmanitan taken out of this matchup. And now Seismitoad, with that Water Absorb ability, is going to restore some health. And that is because Swampert is going to ride that Surf. It's only going to do damage to Lapras, not a great deal. It does resist it, but it was a really good play to help Seismitoad out there, as the Thunder Wave will not affect Seismitoad from Lapras. Swampert continuing to take damage from that burn, but also still restoring health, as Glaceon is the last Pokemon for the Search Chest of Frost, and Glaceon now going for the Magic Room after Seismitoad having to recharge. But we've only seen 2 Pokemon for the Pony Canyon Fissure so far, as the Bite from Lapras gets really good hit there on Swampert, who does flinch and is unable to go for a move. And again, it is still restoring health and suffering from the burn. But we've only seen 2 Pokemon from the Pony Canyon Fissure. There's only 2 Pokemon left for the Search Chest of Frost, as the Seed Bomb from Seismitoad connects with Glaceon. Surely it should have gone for Lapras with that move, as the coaching from Glaceon looking to help Lapras out here. Lapras is going to get a boost in its attack and defense stat. Now Lapras gonna go for the Fusion Bolt, but again, they keep going for these electric moves, and Swampert very intelligently goes for the rest. It's gonna cure it of that burn. It will put it to sleep for a number of turns, but it gets itself back to full strength. Seismitoad and Swampert have been a fantastic team in this matchup so far. Seismitoad with a close combat and gets another elimination. Does Seismitoad? Glaceon is taken out with a super effective critical hit. This is going to lower the defense and special defense of Seismitoad, but I believe that is 4 eliminations now for the Unova Water Ground type Pokemon, as Swampert is still asleep on the field. But again, it is at full strength, but this does open the door for Lapras to go for the Aurora Beam onto Seismitoad, and there's a huge hit there. Seismitoad responding with the Water Gun, doing very little chip damage here. And Lapras all by itself, very intelligently going for the Ingrain. Planting those roots, it is going to look to restore health between turns, as Swampert is still asleep on the field. Lapras needs to keep itself at full strength for as long as it can, because it has 6 ground-type Pokemon to contend with, and there is the Psychic Fangs from Seismitoad. Very little damage to Lapras, who responds with the Leer. It is going to lower the defenses of both Swampert and Seismitoad. It needs to capitalize and get some eliminations. Pony Canyon Fissure having an amazing game, and Swampert wakes up going for the Power Split. Is going to share its power with Lapras here. Lapras getting that health restored. Again, having planted its roots, that is a good play here, as the Magic Room wears off, and Seismitoad with the Fury Cutter. Very minimal damage there to Lapras, as Swampert sets up a Sandstorm, which is fantastic because the ground types will not suffer any of the effects from this Sandstorm, so it will chip away at Lapras here. Lapras going for the Ice Shard, though, onto Seismitoad, and Seismitoad is eliminated. That is exactly what Lapras needs to do. It needs to get these eliminations. There are 5 Pokemon remaining for the Pony Canyon Fissure. They are still in contention to be on top of the leaderboard after this matchup, and it is Mudsdale coming out for the Fissure, as Lapras with the flip turn now onto Swampert. That is massive damage there, performed by Lapras there. Remembering, it does have that attack boost. Now Swampert has switched all of its defense and special defense changes with Lapras. Mudsdale mistakenly going for the Dream Eater, but Lapras is awake. Swampert, still with that Veil of Water, is continuing to restore its health, and Lapras, with those planted roots, still restoring health also. But Swampert now going for the Acrobatics. They need to get this elimination. That does very little damage to Lapras, and Lapras responds with the Mud Slap onto Swampert. Not going to do much damage, but it is going to lower its accuracy here. That Flower Shield failing from Mudsdale. Mudsdale having 0 impact in this matchup since it's come onto the field. Swampert, Lapras, both still restoring health. Lapras is still being hit by that Sandstorm, though. And now Swampert's going to set up the Misty Terrain. This mist will swirl over the battlefield. Now see if anyone can capitalize and go for a Fairy-type move. No one is afraid of any Fairy-type moves on the field at the moment, however. And now Lapras goes for the Imprison. This is going to cause the Pony Canyon Fissure to struggle, but this is actually going to hurt Lapras, as it is going to be taking damage from both Swampert and Mudsdale. That is guaranteed, because we are going to see them struggle now Lapras needs to practically go 4 moves that will eliminate both of them at the same time. It fails with the fake out, and Swampert here goes for its first struggle. Does very little damage to Lapras, doing more damage to itself with that recoil damage. Mudsdale is going to follow it up with a struggle of its own, and that does huge damage. Lapras needs to get Mudsdale off this field immediately as that Sandstorm does subside. So Lapras will not be taking any more damage from that, which is fantastic. It can just restore its health with those planted roots, but it needs to get Mudsdale off this field. Swampert has 1 struggle left in it as we get our first time warning. Struggle does not eliminate Lapras, but the recoil damage does take out Swampert. Unfortunately, that is the second Pokemon taken down for the fissure. Lapras now going for the expanding force. This will surely not do enough damage. It is a good hit, but Mudsdale is going to follow it up with the struggle, and Lapras is eliminated. The Pony Canyon fissure have dominated the Surchester Frost here today. There's that recoil damage from Mudsdale, but Mudsdale still holds on. As I said, they have dominated this matchup, though, showing the Surchester Frost why they're having such a good season. They do move themselves up into 2nd place, and their next matchup will be against the Pewter Stones, whereas the Surchester Frost, unfortunately with that loss, is going to make making the finals much harder this season, and their next matchup will be against the Shimoody Keepers. But our very next game will be the Olivine hosting the New Morphle Devils. The Olivine need to get their season back on track, or they risk falling out of the Elite Four. The New Morphle Devils want that to happen though, because they could potentially jump up above the Olivine. I cannot wait for the battle of these two sides, but until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome.